Breckenridge versus Keystone. Today we're going to talk about which one you should invest in and why, or why you should not invest in Breckenridge or Keystone. Both are pretty similar. We both have ski resorts at both Breck and Keystone. We've got Jack Nicklaus designed golf courses. We've got hiking, we've got biking, but there are subtle differences that you should know about if you're going to decide to buy a home here in either Breckenridge or Keystone, Colorado. So let's get into it. All right, before we go on to the rest of this video, I want to know, what do you guys prefer, Breckenridge or Keystone? I think I like Keystone's skiing for the most part. When Breckenridge doesn't have its high alpine terrain open, it's kind of limited in what Breckenridge has to offer, but Keystone has super long green and blue runs that are great for cruising on a sunny day. So I'm probably leaning towards Keystone for the skiing and then Breckenridge for the restaurants, bars, and nightlife. Let me know in the comments below what you guys would choose. Now, as I mentioned before, Breckenridge has some subtle differences from Keystone. There's not many, but I think we should hit on the differences first. So, the biggest difference between Breckenridge and Keystone is going to be the abundance of restaurants, shops, bars, and nightlife. I would say Breckenridge has a ton more to do in that arena. So if you're looking for variety with food, variety with your favorite happy hour place, Breckenridge is going to be the place to go. I think there's a little over 80 combined shops or combined restaurants and bars, and there's a bunch more shops as well if you're into shopping. And then along with that comes nightlife. So if you are into the nightlife scene, maybe you're young, you like to club, maybe you're older and you like to dance and club, Breckenridge has a couple of different places. You can go to Cecilia's Lounge. They have a cigar bar there as well, which I truly enjoy. And then they've got a couple of dive bars and taverns that you can go to. Some examples are Gold Pan Saloon, Rocky Mountain Underground, amongst others. So the nightlife in Breckenridge is abundant. Keystone, I would say, is a much sleepier town, and it doesn't have that nightlife. Warren Station does things on occasion, maybe some comedy nights, a live band here and there, but generally speaking, Breckenridge is going to be your go-to for nightlife, bars, restaurants, and a higher abundance of those in Breckenridge as opposed to Keystone. The next big difference with Keystone and Breckenridge is the overall feel. Because you have more restaurants and bars in Breckenridge, you've got more people. The population in Breckenridge is a little over 4,000, and I think the population in Keystone is a little over 1,000. So you'll see a lot more people, a lot more tourists, a lot more life happening in Breckenridge. And Keystone, you will see it definitely in the ski season and a little bit in the summertime as well, but in the off seasons and after about 8-9 o'clock, there's really nothing going on. It's really not even a main street in Keystone. It's just the village at River Run. So definitely a quieter, sleepier little town as opposed to Breckenridge where all the things are happening. So you're probably wondering, what is the financial difference between buying something in Breckenridge and buying something in Keystone? Honestly, not much of a difference. Breckenridge's average home is about 1.4 million. It's about the same for Keystone as well. So if you're thinking you're going to try to save money by being in Keystone because it's less convenient, you're not going to save any money. They're basically about the same price. Breckenridge is probably a little bit more expensive just because of the name Breckenridge and because of what it has to offer. All right, the next big difference between Breckenridge and Keystone is going to be the skiing in terms of a couple of different things. So Keystone has more mellow terrain, more green circles, blue squares, a handful of black diamonds, and I think there's maybe 2 or 3 double black diamond runs that you actually have to hike to. So Keystone is definitely an easier resort to ski, which lends itself to being more family friendly, and Keystone has been consistently ranked as one of the most family friendly ski resorts in the entire country. So if you have little kids, or if you're not a very advanced skier and you just like to cruise the groomed runs, then Keystone is going to be the place for you. I'd say most days I'm just kind of cruising, so I love Keystone for that aspect, and it's definitely going to be better for those of you that do not ski that often or have kids along with you. If you're looking for more advanced terrain, then Breckenridge would be your option, as high alpine terrain in Breckenridge is epic. I have had some amazing powder days up there, jumping off of cliffs, skiing super steep trees, face shots everywhere. It was amazing, but those are the differences primarily in the ski terrain at Breckenridge and Keystone. And then the biggest and probably one of the most impactful differences for a local is the parking situations at each. So Keystone has the River Run Gondola parking lot, which is free to park at. You just park there, about a 5-minute walk to the chairlift, which is great. Breckenridge, unfortunately, is all paid parking. So if you don't have a place there or have a friend who owns a place and you don't have a parking spot, you're going to be paying for parking every time that you're down there. I'm not sure exactly what the rates are right now because I haven't parked there in so long, but regardless, you are still paying to park at Breckenridge or Keystone. Totally free to park, and then you can go skiing. The other big difference with Keystone and Breckenridge is that if you live in Keystone, you have access to Arapahoe Basin as well. So if you are one of those people that likes the peace and quiet of a place like Keystone, but you still want the advanced skiing terrain, then you can get a pass to go to Arapahoe Basin. And Arapahoe Basin is notorious for having some of the most challenging terrain in all of Colorado. Very steep, high altitude, chutes, cliffs, steep tree skiing, things of that nature. So you can get your advanced skiing at Keystone, but you just have to drive up the road to Arapahoe Basin. So the cool thing is that you actually get 2 different ski resorts if you live in Keystone, where in Breckenridge, you're primarily just getting Breckenridge. You'll have to make a 20 to 30 minute drive to get to Keystone, a basin, and then 45 minutes to get onwards towards Vail and other ski resorts. Another big difference between Keystone and Breckenridge is convenience of everyday living. So Breckenridge has its own supermarket, City Market. It's part of King Soopers. That's what we have here in Summit County. There's one main one located on the north end of the county that services Silverthorne, Dillon, Frisco, and Keystone. And then Breckenridge has its own smaller city market. So if you need to do your day-to-day shopping, groceries, whatever, you can do that in Breckenridge as well. Breckenridge has the Breckenridge Building Center, and you can actually get all of your building materials there. If you're a DIY guy or you like to build or do projects, or if you need to fix something, you have that, where the only other place you can really get something like that is either Lowe's or Ace Hardware, again, located on the north side of the county. So Breckenridge is kind of convenient, I guess. If you were looking to save on time and be super efficient, Breckenridge has everything you'd want in a mountain ski town. You've got the ski resort, you've got all the hiking, the biking, the adventure, you've got your necessity shopping such as groceries and building materials, things of that nature. So Breckenridge has everything you could ever want in a ski town. Basically, you park your car, you could take the bus everywhere, you could walk everywhere, you could bike ride everywhere. It's just the perfect all-around town, where Keystone doesn't really have that convenience, but maybe that's more for you, right? If you don't mind having a 15, 20, maybe 30-minute drive to the grocery store or to Lowe's to get some basic stuff, then that's what you're gonna get in Keystone. And if that's something that you're into, that's great, but for me, I like the convenience. So I think if I was choosing between Breckenridge and Keystone for my everyday needs, I'd probably lean more towards Breckenridge. If I'm looking solely as a vacation home, I just want the privacy, maybe I can hire out some of the day-to-day convenience stuff, then I'd be looking more towards Keystone, as you get much more private feel, especially if you're in the golf course. Some of the homes back there are amazing, incredible open views, looking at the golf course, super quiet and peaceful. But those are really the big differences, I think, between Keystone and Breckenridge is convenience. All right, and so those are the main differences between Breckenridge and Keystone. They are pretty subtle differences between the two mountain towns. Other than that, they're very similar. Both have ski resorts, both have areas to hang out, both have great summertime adventure such as mountain biking, fly fishing on the river. You can get on the rec path to do some road biking or some walking with your dog or whatever. And then both have great access to snowmobiling as well. Breckenridge up Tiger Road, Keystone if you go towards Montezuma. And then you both have Jack Nicklaus designed golf courses. The other similarities is that they're both about the same distance to Denver International Airport, both about 20 minutes off of the I-70 exit in either direction to get to Keystone or Breckenridge. And then once you're on I-70, it's basically an hour drive to Denver International Airport. Anyway, I can go on and on about the similarities between Keystone and Breckenridge, but you're here for the differences. So those are basically the differences that I highlighted previously. If I were choosing a place to live at this point in my life, I like convenience. Convenience helps me with my business and my day-to-day living. So if I'm looking between Breckenridge and Keystone, I am looking more towards Breckenridge, as I've got tons of options for restaurants, bars, again, city markets, Breckenridge Building Center, just little things like that make life on the day to day. Very easy compared to Keystone, where I'd be driving a lot and wasting a lot of time. If I were older and maybe I'm at a point in my life where money isn't an issue and I just want a nice vacation home in the mountains, super peaceful, I'd probably be looking at Keystone over by the golf course, getting one of those homes over in the West River Ranch or something along those lines. I can get the peace and quiet. If I wanted to, I could hire a private chef or hire somebody to do the grocery shopping, hire somebody to do the maintenance, whatever. So that's kind of the way you should look at it if you're thinking between Breckenridge and Keystone. Hopefully I was able to help you guys in today's video. If you want to talk with me, my phone number is right here. That is my personal cell. You can text me. You'll also find my email in the description below or in the first comments. You can email me as well. Either way, you can talk directly with me and I will help guide you to finding a place here in Summit County. Thank you guys, and I will see you in the next video.